All right. Well, hey, welcome to Super Saturday. This is great. We've got 61 people here in the auditorium and people still coming in on a Saturday morning. And I just want to say thanks for being here. I'm going to have our speakers, I'm going to give them just a couple seconds in just a minute to introduce themselves and briefly tell you what they're going to be covering. I'll tell you what rooms they're going to be in and how this is going to work, and then we'll get started. I've got a quote on the screen, and if you can't really see the screen well, all you need to do is above the top screen, there's a little magnifying glass with a plus sign in it. Click that. It'll bring the screen right up into your face and make it easier for you to see, and you can do that in every room today. So if you want to see the presenters will be posting their links to their screen share in the public chat box, and you'll just click on that link and it'll pull up the PowerPoint right on your computer. It won't be on the screen in the room. I forgot that EXP just changed that. But I've got a great quote. It says, "Let others lead small lives, but not you. Let others argue over small things, but not you. Let others cry over small hurts, but not you. Let others leave their future in someone else's hands, but not you." And Jim Rohn's one of my favorite speakers, and I would challenge you to today go, I'm going to learn something. I'm going to take away something today that's going to help me build the future that I desire, that's going to help me to build the real estate business that I envisioned when I started my career, if it was just recently or if it was years ago. And I love Jim Rohn. He is such a phenomenal speaker. And then I also want to upload this other image, and it should be uploaded. Let's see. It didn't upload. Give me 1 second. There we go. So I wanted to share this thought as we kick off this Super Saturday. And if you look at the FedEx logo, raise your hand if you see the arrow in the logo. All right. Raise your hand if you don't see the arrow in the logo. So you guys look at most of the room. If you look in between the E and the X, look at the white space between the E and the X, and you will see a white arrow. Raise your hand if you now see that arrow. You're never not going to see it again. Every FedEx truck or package that comes your way, you're going to see that arrow. It's going to jump out at you. And the reason I want to tell you that is because today you might hear something or see something or learn something that if you implement it, you begin to, your mind might tell you that's not going to work in my market, or that won't work for me, or that script doesn't sound like me, or that's not how I've done things. And I want to challenge you to open your mind today and be willing to change your perception and see things slightly differently. And when you see things differently, your whole world changes because our perception becomes our reality. If you perceive that people aren't going to want to do business with you, then you're not going to build a successful business. If you perceive or have the perception that the people in your database don't want to talk to you, or friends or family don't want to help you, or that you'd be bothering them, that will become your reality. Instead, have a shift in how you see things and begin to see that the people in your database, your sphere of influence, they would absolutely love to help you. In fact, they probably would be your biggest advocates if they only knew how to help you grow your business. Or when you hear Katie talking about branding yourself and sharing ideas, take those ideas and instead of first saying, well, that won't work for me, be open to implementing them and have a different perception. Or when Susan's talking today about prioritizing and knowing what the most important things you should be focused on are, be open to those suggestions. That's my challenge to you, because when you begin to have this perceptual transformation, that's where you're open-minded and you start to see yourself as you're capable of becoming, not as you currently are. And that's where you want to be in your business. You want to always see yourself in the realm of possibility. What could my business look like? What could my life look like if I open my mind and unlimit my thinking and adopt some new policies, new principles, new philosophies? So this Saturday, here's how this is going to work today. In just a little while, we're going to go to different rooms. Everyone's not going to go to the same room. You can pick and choose, but you're going to hit all 3 sessions. They're going to be 30-minute sessions. We're going to kick off at 10:15. So I'm going to give a little bit of time for the speakers just to take 1 or 2 minutes, introduce themselves, hit a short of what they're going to cover, and then we're going to tell you. I'll tell you what rooms they're going to be in. You're going to go to that room. You're going to attend that session, and then they'll know they're going to go from 10. They'll start at about 10:15. And they'll go for 30 minutes. And then when 30 minutes is up, speakers, watch your time, because I can't hop around and tell you. I'm going to be trying to record what's happening this morning. But watch your time. And at 30 minutes, that's when you're going to wrap up, go to the next rooms. The speakers will stay in their same room, but you guys, the agents, you'll go to the other room that you want to participate in, and then the next room. So you should all hit all 3 classes today, and then we'll come back in the auditorium to wrap up. And so our first speaker, I'm going to just let him quickly introduce himself. Chuck Hill, tell everyone where he's from. He's going to be in meeting room 5. That's where Chuck is going to be. And Chuck, why don't you introduce yourself, tell them where you're from, and also just tell them a little bit about what you're going to talk about this morning.
Fantastic. Well, first of all, Jonathan, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. This is awesome. It's great to see everybody here. I'm Chuck Hill. I live in a little town on the central coast of California called Paso Robles with my wife and daughter and the rest of my family. We're all in real estate, every single one of us. So you can imagine what our Christmas dinner conversations are like. We've all just kind of live, breathe, and eat and sleep real estate. But today we're gonna cover database. I've been in the business for 24 years, and I love my database. It's where 70% of my business comes from, and it's my passion, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with everybody, because literally by communicating with, talking to, and loving on the people that you know and care about, just like Jonathan said in his initial statements, it's a mindset thing, but we owe it to the people that we care about to be in touch with them, because aren't we, after all, the best people to be doing the job for them? So I love my database, and I'm just really excited to talk to everybody and share some ideas with you. And Jonathan, thanks again.
Awesome. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And so Chuck's going to go ahead. I'm going to let him go ahead and go to meeting room 5 so he can get his screen share and all that set up. And if you want to attend Chuck's class first, you're going to go to meeting room 5. Don't go yet. Only Chuck goes right now. And then Katie Clancy is also here. And Katie, why don't you just tell them a little background? I met Katie at Inman Connect. I had the opportunity to speak on a panel there, and she was facilitating masterminds and sessions, and is just incredible. In fact, it's so funny. I said, "Hey, Chuck, do you know Katie?" And he said, "Well, I don't personally know her, but I get her emails." And so I said, "Katie, what email? How do I get your email?" Because Chuck was raving about it. But why don't you just introduce yourself and give a little background of who you are and what you're going to be sharing?
Okay, awesome. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this. This is very cool, and I'm watching everybody out there and checking out your avatars, and I'm having some avatar envy, not gonna lie. And extra points for anybody who can show me how to dance, okay? So, but let's get to the substance. I lead a real estate team on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, called the Cape House team. The umbrella organization is William Revis. And personal branding is so important, not just to me, but to you. And if you don't already know that, you will know that by the end of our session. And during our session, you'll come away well into the process of creating or recreating your personal brand and fully understanding why it's important. So I look forward to seeing y'all there.
Awesome. Thank you. And Katie will be in meeting room 6, and I'm going to let her go ahead and head over to meeting room 6 so she can get set up over there. And then Susan Cook is one of our own EXP. And just before she introduces herself, when I first made the transition to EXP, I was flipping through a Riz Media magazine, which is a real estate magazine. from it highlights leaders all over the country. And as I was flipping through, I saw an article that Susan was in, and she was a former Keller Williams, and I was also formerly at Keller Williams, and so I sent her a message on LinkedIn, and I didn't know she had already made the transition, and I had just made the transition, and we were just having a conversation, and she said, "Hey, we have something in common. We both were at KW, and now we're both at EXP." And I said, "Oh my gosh, small world." And she's a great leader and teacher and coach. And so, Susan, you want to just give a little background and also tell them what you're going to be teaching about?
Thank you, Jonathan. Yes, I came over to EXP in March of this year after 9 years of being at Keller Williams. I'm in the last 5 as a team leader, recruiting, attracting, and coaching agents. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm a One Thing certified trainer. So we're going to be talking about the productivity habits that you produce and the science behind it that the One Thing kind of covers. So I'm excited to bring that presentation here to EXP today.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much. And Susan is going to be in meeting room 7. So I'm going to let her go ahead and head over there to meeting room 7. And so again, I'm just going to run through these rooms. And I want to try to put one more thing up here on the screen before I let you guys break. And it just went away. Tell me this, though, while I'm trying to find this. How exciting, just from the introductions. Raise your hand if you feel like, man, this is definitely going to be worth my time today. It absolutely is. I worked hard at getting some high-level speakers to come in and present to you guys, and they're just doing it. They're just giving back. So there's nothing in it for them other than to come in and speak to you guys. So Chuck Hill, he is going to be in meeting room 5. He's going to be talking about loving on your database. So if you want to attend Chuck's class first, you're going to go to meeting room 5. Katie Clancy is amazing, and she'll be talking about branding yourself, marketing yourself, your personal brand. She's got a restaurant that actually named the drink after her. You'll have to ask her that story. She will be in meeting room 6. So if you want to attend Katie's class first, go to meeting room 6, and then Susan will be talking about the one thing, what's most important that you should focus on to grow your business. How do you really become intentional? She'll be in meeting room 7. So go ahead and go. If you're new to EXP, up in the top corner, hey, this is Jonathan Dupree. Listen, we had a fantastic Super Saturday. You just caught the introduction before we went into the breakout sessions. If you'd like to see the breakout sessions, you can go to my Patreon page and become a patron, meaning you can support the content that I'm working to create to help realtors increase their production and make more money and be more successful in the real estate industry. So just visit my Patreon site. I'll post the link in the description below. I'll also have it running across this video as a banner, and you can see the entire 2-hour session. You'll get to see all the breakout sessions. Chuck Hill talking about how to build your database and how to communicate with it. He shares some incredible tips and insights. Katie Clancy, she talks about marketing yourself, branding yourself, how to be the best version of you that you're capable of becoming. Great class. And Susan Cook talks about the one thing and how to find out what's the most important thing you should be focused on, how to prioritize and be extremely intentional in all that you do. So go on over to my Patreon page, choose the tier that makes most sense to you. You can be a supporter for $10 a month, $25 a month, $100 a month. I do some different things for each tier, one-on-one, group coaching, masterminds, in addition to all of the video trainings and classes that I do. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Head on over to my Patreon site.